Uncle C, back in the office, and in today's video I'm going to be discussing why as a man your mission has to and must come first. And not only that, we're going to be diving into actually how this applies to your real life skills. Okay, here's the fact of the matter. You can watch as many of these videos when it comes to female nature, female dynamics, self-improvement, winning your woman back, anything like that. You can watch all of them all day if you'd like. However, if you can't put these into practical application, there's no way you're going to have any real world success. And that's the entire point of today's video, is to actually give you real world success. Now, if this is your first time on this channel, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Casey Zander. I'm the founder of Headman, and I'm here to revitalize masculinity and help make men full stack. Let's dive into today's video. So let's dive into number one. The very first point I must make regarding this entire topic for today is you're the king, so you have to act like it. Let this sink in for just a second. Like seriously, because most men don't feel as if they're enough. Okay, they don't feel as if they're enough for their work life, their career. They don't feel as if they're enough for their family. They don't feel as if they're enough for their social group. And because of that, they walk around with this energy that bogs them down in a state of low status. This is not how you want to live, and this is not how you want to act. You are the king, so you must act like it. And even if you don't feel like a king, you have to start to adapt the mindset of a king, so that way you can carry yourself with the confidence, conviction, the tonality when you're around your woman. Which begs me to ask the deeper question here with point number one. Kings rule. Do you? Think about this. Do you rule your own household? Do you rule your own kingdom? Are you the final say? Because if you've ever caught yourself saying one of these three things, me and my woman make decisions together, or me and my woman are a team, or me and my woman always consult each other before moving forward, that's the exact reason right there why she doesn't view you as the type of man for her. Because in the end, the king must lead. In the end, the king has the final say. The king rules. Do you? Only you can answer that question honestly. Because when it comes to the true attraction with your wife or significant other or anything like that, these are the cold hard questions you're going to have to ask yourself. And throughout this video, I want you to actually ask them truthfully, answer them truthfully, because that's the only way we as a team will be able to grow and make leaps and bounds together. So the point that I'm trying to make as we loop down into point 2 and 3 with topic number 1 is more questions. Because if we don't get to the root question, we're never going to actually be in the standpoint where we can put the right factual statements in play. The next question I have for you is, would a king submit to his wife's lead? Or for some of you who are in relationships or LTRs, things of that nature, would a king submit to your woman's lead? When you actually look at what trust building is with a woman, trust building is when she knows that she can trust her man to be a man. And that's going to include you making decisions after maybe consulting her input, but ultimately whether she agrees with them or disagrees with them, there has to be a final say. There has to be a final say in everything. And if the final say is coming from her, she is assuming the masculine role, the authority, the leadership. If this has happened one too many times, you are literally living a life of death by 1,000 cuts before that relationship is over. As soon as she wears those pants that assumes the roles of where she gets to make these decisions and ultimately she attempts to put you in a category or in a box that strips you of your lead and of your masculine decisiveness, your masculine rationale, your masculine decision making, this is why the relationship's failing. So ask yourself this question right now. Would a king submit to his woman's lead? See, just because she's the queen doesn't necessarily mean that the say is final. The queen may have great input. The queen may actually know a thing or two. The queen may be able to aid, help, and assist the king. But ultimately, who has the final say? This is going to come with some uncomfortability. This is going to come with you putting your big boy pants on. This is going to actually come with you being dominant and decisive in certain areas when you've probably never been asked to be before. If you truly want success within your life and within your relationships or within your attraction with women as much as you tell me that you do, the fact of the matter is if you are not asking yourself these questions, you will never get to the root of giving yourself the right answers. So, what signal does it send her if he's easily controlled? If she knows that all she has to do is start one argument, send one nasty text to make your heart rate go up quicker because you're so worried she's going to leave. If all she has to do is have bitchy attitude one time, and she knows that that's all it's going to take to not only rock the boat, but crush your internal world, where you're willing to totally shift your plans in life. You're totally willing to shift the dynamic of this relationship. You're totally willing to shift what you know is in good spirit for the betterment of the whole of the family or of the unity of the relationship. If she sees that that's what you're willing to do, what signal does it send her if he's that easily controlled psychologically and emotionally around the presence of her? Because this is going to send signals that goes, hey, I'm half his size, I'm half his strength. This is the man I signed up for that can bend and break instantly around me. So bring me back to point number one. For some of you, you're going to be saying, Casey, this is a bit of a longer video. Yeah, I get that. But if you want success as much as you tell me you do, you have to ask the deeper rooted questions. You are the king, so it is time to start acting like it. Point number two. Okay, and keep in mind, this is tied to the overarching hierarchy of today's topic of why your mission is first. Your mission must be first because a woman's pleased only when she knows that her man is. Think about that for a second. Your woman can only be pleased when she knows that you're pleased. Think about this in every way I'm going to possibly break down. The first part I'm going to break down for you is S3 actual serving. Okay, yes, it's a play on words right here. That's how I say it sometimes. S3 actual, right? I don't want to trigger any sort of algorithms or anything like that. But think about this. For some of you, if you can think back to some of the best experiences in the bedroom you may have had with your woman or a woman, typically the times when she's most turned on, she's most aroused, she's even dripping, what's going to happen? What's going to happen is that she's entering your frame and virtually serving you. That was probably a time, a romantic experience, intimacy, when you were leading and she felt as if she was serving. And because she could serve, this heightened arousal. Because she could serve, this turned her on. You're going to notice that even some of you who may be biblical, you follow a biblical aspect to life. It's great if you do. The biblical term for helpmeet is basically aid or assistant of mission, assistant of him, assistant of the king. So if these roles have been reversed, your relationship is failing not because of her fault, but because of your fault. It's your fault. There's three things she'll never take. She's never going to take ownership, she's never going to take accountability, and she will never take responsibility for the direction of the relationship. Why? Because that is his job. And as soon as these roles have been psychologically reversed, you're in for one hell of a ride. And you're in for a ride for the end of the destruction of that relationship or marriage. And it doesn't matter if you spent 1 year, 2 years, 10 years, 20 years. When she senses he does not have the strength to lead, when she no longer can serve him, but he has made it his life mission of serving her, there is no quicker way to lose attraction. So, she's pleased knowing you're pleased. She's pleased knowing that you're turned on. She's pleased knowing that she can sleep at night knowing that her king is pleased. Because that king now can focus on his mission. That king can even have the aid in his mission. That king ultimately can sleep at night knowing that he is worthy and he feels good. Why? Because he's putting the right steps in play. So I'm going to ask a question because questions is the point of today's video. So some of you might be sitting here watching this video and you're sitting here going, well, Casey, how can she please me? What can I do? Well, she can do this, whatever relationship you're in, she can do this by you directing. And when you direct her, even in the small stuff, hey, I want you to do this. Hey, this is what time we're going to be. This is what time we're going out to eat. I need you to be ready. I need you to do this. Help me do this. That right there is very attractive to a woman. She gets a sense of femininity and she can actually start to serve. So the real question I have for you is, why isn't she concerned if you leave? See, majority of men watching this video time and time again are concerned if their woman or a woman would leave their presence. They're concerned if she'll pull away, if she'll lose attraction, if one nasty text message comes up and all of a sudden she's angry. But let me ask you this, why are the roles not reversed? Why is she not the one constantly waking up every day wondering, I wonder if he'll leave. I wonder if he'll find somebody better. I wonder if he's the type of man who will have multiple options. I wonder if he can replace me. See, these are the questions you need to be asking, because If there's a value exchange where if she feels way up here and he feels way up here, there is no sense that she will get the king persona around that presence. It's just not designed to work. And this is why every single book on love languages, every single trust building, every single therapy session, every single counseling session that most husbands try to put themselves through, or God forbid, working through trauma, has nothing to do with the actual attraction of why this relationship is crumbling time and time again. If you want to truly win a woman over, this is the attitude, demeanor, presence, and ultimately question stack that you're going to have to ask yourself to get to the deeper root of the question and the deeper root of the correct answer. So, moving on with mission. How do you have a mission? Think of a king, think of a leader, think of a ruler, think of an emperor. Very attractive, very dominant, has direction, has sense of control. This turns a woman on. If that man has sense of control, what is that saying? That is sending a signal that his mental point of reference is always first. Who he is mentally, where he wants to go, always has to come first. If it doesn't, that's a sense of weakness. Weakness is the quickest turnoff to lose your king status. Here at Headman, we're about building kings. At Headman, we build kings. Point blank, period. So, nobody comes before you. You might be saying, but Casey, I have children. But Casey, I have to take care of her. Yeah, okay. Okay, you have other duties. But you see, the king is up top. Because if the king is not satisfied here up top, right, every single stack below this, let's say your woman, let's say children, let's say bills, right? If he is not satisfied, if he is not healthy, if he is not coming first, all of these issues are going to fail. They will crumble. Why? Because the roles have been reversed. So when she is up here, the kids are second, and all of a sudden the man is putting himself last. This is sending a statement and a signal of low status. He does not have the mental mindset, bandwidth, or ability to carry out his mission properly every single day in life to execute that gives her the sense of stability, that she's around a high-value man. Now, this can occur at any dollar amount. See, this is the other point. This is the other issue that most men make. They think that dollars, they think that having a good career, they think that being stable ultimately will give a sense of security in a woman's eyes. That is false. It's the attitude and psychological control that you have. So I'm going to give you two scenarios. Here's scenario number one. You have a man, right, who puts himself first. He puts his woman second. He puts his children below that, right? This is his stack. This is his hierarchy right here. And let's say this guy makes $50K a year, okay? But he puts himself first. But now let's reverse these roles. Let's say the wife is up here, the children are up here, and the man puts himself last. But this guy down here, in situation number two, this guy makes $250K a year. She will get an actual worse sense of security around the guy who puts himself last despite making fivefold what this guy does. Why? Because psychologically, this guy up top right here shows and proves that he is willing to lead. That's the stability in long-term relational sense that most men seem to fail. So, what does this mean? This means that nobody can come before you. Nobody in the family can come before you. You are the king, which means that when you act like this, keep in mind, this may result in rude, naggy, or bitchy behavior. Do you have the strength to sit through that without getting reactive? Do you have the strength to sit through that without turning into a 16-year-old girl who just got her car keys taken away? Do you have the strength to do that without arguing? Do you have the strength to do that without getting moved off your masculine center? Do you have the strength to do that without getting argumentative? For most men, they don't. They just don't. And they don't due to the fact that they have never been taught these things. You only win a woman over through the emotions. The emotions can only be brought out through a woman when the king status remains high and when he's acting the correct way. So really, the men who can just say, who cares? Who cares if there's bad behavior? Who cares if she feels as if you're being rude? Who cares if she feels a different emotion? People feel different emotions all the time. It's not your job to be the fixer man, and it's also not your job to monitor her emotions to always making sure that she's happy. If she's a grown woman, there are times where she's happy, there's times when she's sad, there's times when she's angry, there's times when she's healthy, there's times when she's horny, there's times when she's depressed. That's called being a human, and it is her job to monitor those emotions and keep herself in check, not you. You have the whole kingdom to worry about because you're the king, which is ultimately why today we're starting with your mission first. If your mission does not come first, there is not a single chance that any woman will find you attractive. I will say that one more time. You might be able to fake it for a couple weeks or a couple months. In the long run, there's not a single woman that will find you attractive if this mission is not coming first. That I can guarantee you. So, A masculine man, a man with relationship success, what does he do? He prioritizes rationale. His rational lead, his logic, his rational intellect is constantly over her feminine emotions. Because as soon as she can prove that her feminine emotions can knock you off your rational masculine path, this proves to her one thing, that you're a weak fit for survival. That's it. It's a value exchange. And if your woman is pulling away from you, it has nothing to do with communication. It has nothing to do with chemistry. It has everything to do with you having big old balls, and that's it. So, you need a mission. If you haven't noticed yet by now, you need a mission. Because if you've said to yourself any of these things, she has been my center. She's the center of my world. I put her before me. I make sure everybody's taken care of besides myself. If you've been doing those things in hope for a return or an exchange in your investment that you've put into that relationship, that's the quickest way to prove to her that you have no idea what in the hell you're doing when it comes to attraction. That is the quickest way to prove to her that you have no level of competency to actually lead a family or anything. You want the cold hard facts that no one's going to tell you in your next love novel? Here it is. So, to tie this in, there's going to be a lot of people that say, Casey, you acting like this whole king status, right? This whole idea. People are going to say, Casey, you sound a bit rude. You sound a bit angry, right? You sound a bit maybe even evil. This is not the case. This is not the case at all, because it doesn't matter if you're Batman or if you're the Joker. Think about this 1 second. Doesn't matter if you're Batman or the Joker. They are both equally as kings. They are both equally kings in their own universe, in their own realm. Why? Because they both have the mission. They both have the mission dialed into the T. The Joker, his mission is to destroy Gotham. 100%, that's all he cares about. He's evil. Okay, what's the reverse of that? Bruce Wayne's mission, 100%, is to save Gotham. They will both fight tooth and nail at any extent to do that. You get to choose if you're a head man and you play on the side of good. You get to choose if you're a tail man and you play on the side of evil. Just because you remain a king, just because you act like this, just because you do this, just because you assert yourself like this, does not make you a bad man. Why? Because both Batman and the Joker both have a mission. Both lead. Both lead on their own terms. Both have a team surrounding them. Right? The Joker has other evil men, the thugs of Gotham. The Joker also has Harley Quinn. Batman has Robin. Batman also has the dude, what's his name? The dude, I can't remember. He's on the computer 24/7 helping in the Batcave, Alfred. So both don't give a flying fuck. And since both don't give a flying fuck, they are both alpha, they are both masculine, they are both strong in their own way. Why? Because they both take a stand. Most men in relationships, most men in long-term relationships, most men with women, they don't take a stand for anything. They take a stand of walking on eggshells to hopefully not offend her, in hopes that in return she will now get a sense of security and attraction, when in actuality she's drier than sandpaper and doesn't feel anything for you. You can be a lot of things around a woman, but you cannot be weak. And that is where I'm going to wrap up today's video. Some of you might have said this is a monologue. Some of you might have said this is a bit too long. Some of you might have even said that I'm crazy. I don't care. My message today will resonate with a few people. And the few men that it does help, you will see the rapid success in your relationship, the rapid success in your life, and the rapid success in how you carry yourself, and people will notice. When you act this way, women do not want to exit your life, they want to be part of it. And I'm here to make this my mission, to show you the power that you actually hold as a strong, powerful head man. So there's a few links, okay? Link number 1, if your marriage is struggling, go down below and check out my relationship blueprint case study. You're gonna be seeing exactly how men just like you are saving their marriage in under 30 days. By working one-to-one, step-by-step with my team and the processes that we use in the relationship blueprint. If you're a man struggling at becoming full stack, attracting women, conversing with women, being who you want to be, right? I advise you to go down below and either A, watch the MBT webinar, or B, book a call with my brother Cole for the men's full stack 1%er program. Hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.